What's up, y'all? Great Bitcoin Flippening series. Gavin Mehl coming right at you. We got a freaking badass, badass things happening right now. And I'm just like overjoyed. I want to just kind of like cover a couple of the things that are happening right now that I need to get on the record because I'm going to be in Austin, Texas tomorrow for the next few days, and then just making shit happen. And literally, I'm really jazzed up about like Bruce was on last night. We had a show and Ryan had kind of inspired me to start like doing this at least when I'm doing this road trip thing. I'm gonna go ahead and just do these as I can because I got some extra time right now, and whether it's at night in the morning, I'm up early and I'm doing this too. So it's a I'm just freaking on fire to do this. I'll tell you, there's something that I'm gonna be like announcing in the future, but I'm not ready to yet. But it's gonna be huge, and I think it's gonna make a lot of people a lot of money. So. Ultimately, the Great Bitcoin Flipping series is what I want to talk about. And I want to talk about AI taking over Bitcoin for one, because last night we talked with Bruce. I talked a lot about with Bruce, and I left the stage open, and so anybody can join in. And just jump up on stage if you like, but give me a minute before you interrupt if you do. Now, last night I had Bruce on, and this guy's 78 years old. He goes and he does these VR head training every single day. Make sure my mic is 1,000,000% on. Yeah, we're good. Okay, my mic is good. Yep. I think we're good, right? You give me a thumbs up? Yep, we're good. Okay. So he does this head training thing, right? With his he's doing this VR training every single day. Puts the thing on his head. Basically, he's like, it's a mind training. He's 78 years old, and he knows all about what's called augmented AI. He's running these augmented AI agents, and they're doing all these tasks for him. Uh, he considers it like 100,000 different assistants running at once. Now, how does this all connect to Bitcoin? Well, first of all, he's a absolute, you know, 1,000,000% committed to flipping BTC, like I talk about. He's kind of taking it and run with it. And it's incredibly convincing when you listen to it last night. Now I've talked to him before, but if you listen to the show last night, I mean, he just absolutely went off. The guy's got so much enthusiasm. He's 70, he's almost 80 years old. Okay. I mean, wrap your head around almost 80. He's amazing. And he understands health. He understands the financial markets really well. And how this thing's playing out. And the thing he's, I think, most excited about is the AI. He doesn't quite understand how the AIs are going to begin utilizing the Satoshis and broadcasting transactions on chain, but I happen to because it's happening. I know that I'm doing it myself, and I know other people who are, and it's going to start going off. And it takes Bitcoin SV to broadcast your transactions. And the reason it's important is because you have to have you need it for me. Okay. I ran a couple tests. I got a court case going on myself. I did these motions, right? Let me give you an example. I did these motions in discovery. And so in the motions, I'm asking the court to say, hey, make them give me all their stuff. They don't want to do it. The court's going to make them. So I ran these bots. I ran Gemini. I ran Claude. I ran Gemini, Grok, and then I ran one other bot. And then I ran this new bot, which is Claude on steroids. It's basically like Claude with the latest, greatest, but it's on chain. And it has all my memory of my conversations. So I asked it to run a prediction model on what would happen, and it spit out an absolute perfection. The one bot that had all my memory perfectly, it spit out like a very perfect, almost identical tentative ruling to what the court would do. And it somehow was able to predict that very, very close. It wasn't 100% accurate. That's fine. I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but it was in the perfect like structure and the form and the way that it knew what to do exactly how I wanted it, and the way it was done in the past and the way the court did it. And the other bots weren't like that. They just couldn't make it. They couldn't make it the same. So I got like a little bit of a test case. It's just one small test case, but it shows me that having memory on, with the bot is valuable. So, and it's all done on Bitcoin. That's just one thing that's causing a massive amount of excitement right now for me. And so I did mention when I first started up was that new bill. Now there's this I didn't put it in the title, but I took it off. But I wanted to just mention, just so people are aware, there's a Connor Murray and Alexander Mann. These guys are hardworking guys that went into Congress and the Senate, and they went in and talked to the legislators over there. They've been doing this for years, and so they were able to talk to one of the senators. It looks like he's the senator from, I don't know, South Dakota or Wyoming, whoever's putting the bill forward. And this is the bill about the Bitcoin reserve. Now, you hear it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is stupid. BTC reserve, come on. No, no. But you actually read the bill and you get into it. And it's just a bill, it hasn't passed yet. But if it does, it says in the bill specifically that Congress reserves the right to first of all, it's going to hold all Bitcoins. It says that right in the bill. The bill says that the reserve holds all Bitcoins, all the forks, everything. They call it forks. That you're using this word defined as forks. That's the first thing. Second thing it says is that the Congress reserves the right to decide in 5 years what has the most dominant market cap, and then we'll go with that. Then it will hold and we'll sell the others in 5 years. That's a very good conservative play. I love that because it says that they don't know 5 years what's going to happen. So they're saying, okay, Bitcoin Reserve in Congress and the government, when whatever they're holding in 5 years, they'll make another decision. They'll reevaluate. And then here was the best part where it's clear, explicit in the law that they can very, very clearly see that they're very well aware of the original Bitcoin protocol BSV in the bill. You can read it yourself. It says the exception to the deciding on which Bitcoin we're going to pick in 5 years is the utility. There's like this utility exception. There's a legal word for it that's defined, and they say in the bill that we reserve the right. Congress will reserve the right to. It's not Congress; it's the Secretary of the Treasury, the Secretary of Treasury. Ultimately, that's making this call out of the bill. That's who will do it. It reserves the right to retain and utilize the chain that is the most that has the most utility on it. So now it becomes down to utility, right in the bill. So sorry, Alexander Mann, Connor Murray, deserve all the credit for that. It's very clear and explicit in the law that now they're going to be noticing and recognizing the differences in the Bitcoins. And I think, well, it's the reserve. That's what it is. And 5 years from now, they'll decide which one's the reserve. But it's the way it's written is they'll likely also adopt and keep the one that's got the most utility. Either way, hats off to those guys for lobbying that forward because that's a huge push. Brian Doherty did a lot too before he left, so credit to him as well. But I think Connor and Alexander Mann are just the ones that deserve the credit for that. So okay, what's up, dude? Are you guys able to get up on stage and request or be up here or not? I don't know. If you are, you are. What's up, dude? Can you add your are you able I thought I left the place open, but if you want to join, just request up and I'll add you. So what's up, dude? Oh, my man, Izzy. So this is the deal. Oh yeah, go ahead. Talk to me.
What's up, Gavin? Yeah, man, I saw the title, The Great Bitcoin Flippening number 13, AI takes over Bitcoin. And yeah, man, just kind of rolling through, hearing and listening to what you got cooking. Interesting topic. It sounds like we're kind of diving into the different sort of flavors of Bitcoin, if you like, the OG Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin Satoshi's vision, and all that. And so I'm gathering that you're probably a proponent of Bitcoin Satoshi's vision for maybe sounds like for a utility play, and then perchance laws will have clarity and whatnot, and maybe the current kind of Bitcoin 1.2 trillion will be maybe a store of value.
Good.
Yeah, so that's just kind of the take that I have
Nice.
rolling into the room, bro.
Great
But I hope you're
job.
having a good day,
I
man.
no, I love hear I really want to hear where you're coming from. That's super helpful. So to kind of well taken. And there is a lot to be said about I'm definitely not the know-it-all, or nor am I the lobbyist for one. I don't work for any of these companies, so I hope I can. When I was covering all these trials, I was like I covered all the Satoshi trial. Well, not all. I mean, the main one I did was the Copa trial, and I did the Copa trial. I really did my best just to be neutral, and I truly kind of was. I was like just neutral until I saw total corruption, and I called it out. But I hope that I can be neutral in a way and give my perspective on what I'm seeing, and then let people do what they're going to do, because I don't get paid one way or the other, so to lobby one thing. But yeah, I will say this, the AI stuff is the ticket, man. Because it's the ticket. And I know that I've got a really good friend. He's literally one of my best friends, and he's a BTC dev. I'm not really a dev, but he's the one that invented the smart contracts on Bitcoin. Well, he, obviously Satoshi, but I mean, he's the one that built the technology, all the stacks to do it for the first time, and then he rolled it out. Now it's on BTC, and they're trying to fork BTC right now and make it into a oh, okay, I just read about it. It's called eCash. That's right, eCash, and he's the proponent. He's like the head dev over that with Paul Stork, and they want to do a show with me and all this. I thought that'd be cool, uh, and I support what they're doing. I hope it works for them, but I just don't know how they're going to do transactions on chain with AI, large language models at a million a second. I mean, because I mean, maybe in the beginning, but I just don't see how that's possible. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not seeing it. So when it comes to the AIs, I see that the easiest, most frictionless way is going to be with Bitcoin SV because they're doing so many transactions on chain, and it's all just native, scalable on chain transactions. And it's happening right now. There's a number of apps that are doing it. So it's kind of badass to hear. But what's on your mind, Cliff?
Bro, I think your mic.
Oh, my mic cut out? Testing? Testing, testing. Can anybody hear me? Testing. Give me a thumbs up. Somebody. What's up? Cliff, I think I did my mic completely go black or what? I'm getting a green signal on the mic on the blue, so it looks like I'm good. Yeah, so what I was saying was the AIs though are beginning to, well, it's not that they're beginning. Okay, yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up. Good job. Nice. Thank you. It's not that they're beginning. It's like we've already built, not me, but there are, do you see these AI? I mean, okay, let me give you a backstory. In 2020, I think it was 2024, there was some inside like lore uh, in San Francisco here, where Facebook had put a bounty. I think it was Zuckerberg put a bounty out for these top 20 AI developers in the world for like $1 billion. Like $1 billion for a job. Okay, that was a bounty. And apparently there's only like a handful of people in the world that know how to build these type of stacks with these AIs and really build the large language model codes the best in the world. So apparently this is a real, unusual skill to have. Well, there are a few devs, specifically I know one that is I don't know, he's not in the room right now, but he probably may join. And he can do that stuff. And not only do it, he's done it with large language models and he's done it on Bitcoin. And so because Claude is so amazing right now and Opus, what's happening is it allows so much functionality. And then what he did was he built it with Virtual Studio. And so Virtual Studio just starts putting it on superpower from the way I'm seeing it, and then you have it all natively running on your system, so you keep all your own memory with your conversations with the bots, and you don't have to forfeit it over to open I'm sorry, to Anthropics. You own it, and you broadcast it on your own transactions on chain with that SHA-256 hash. So you have the private keys to it. Yeah, so it's pretty epic, man. Um, that's good, man. I love having new people come in and say what's up. That's really, really great. So you guys want to let me see if I can get Ryan in the room as well. I want to ask him about this. My phone's pretty much dead, so I'm not going to be able to use it. But yeah, I did want to mention some of the other things I'm seeing like right now that are massive. Let me see what else I did. I had oh yeah, last night, dude. This show with Bruce I had last night. You guys check it out. It's on my page on the homepage right there. 12 Data is King. And the Great Bitcoin Flipping Theory, we go deep onto it. And so if people aren't aware about what the Great Bitcoin Flipping Theory is let me just kind of brief you on it really quick because it's the biggest opportunity in human history. And I'm not a freaking troll or a front runner. I don't give a crap, dude. I'm just letting people know. I'm just giving notice, What's happening is when the liquidity leaves BTC like it's doing, it goes back to fiat for some point, but it needs to transfer chains. And as the utility starts to roll out, and the smart people who are in the room, the OGs, they already know it's not new, but it's a lot of the newer people that aren't familiar with where the liquidity it begins to go to, and that just begins to go to BSV. And the reason it goes to that is because it's needed. The bots need. You have to have the BSV to run your AI large language models. It's required. It's a needed fuel, and so it becomes this very demanded commodity to getting the Sats. Not only that, uh, it just gives more utility on chain with on-chain transactions, and it becomes the most legal compliant. I talked a lot about NChain last night and the lore about NChain, which was pretty badass. Or I thought the day before. If you guys remember NChain, they're like this giant patent fortress. Almost call them a patent troll, but they're not just about patents. What they are is they're a super brain miner. Daniel Krawitz made a big video about this about 7 years ago, and he talks about how he discovered what NChain's real business model was. And it wasn't that they were doing mining. I sorry, it wasn't that they were doing patenting. What they were doing was they were I would say a game theory out for Bitcoin. They were just one or two steps ahead of everyone else. And so they were patenting on all their mining operations and their inventions, including with the protocol. So when it comes to game theory, and you look at what's happening on some of the posts right now, I mean, as the man himself does, I mean, it takes patience, but I talked to Daniel Street today, at least on chat, and he was sending me some of the posts and some of the things that he's seeing. It's like I'm telling you right now, we are at a really we're at a really strong position and tipping point. I mean, I don't know. I just see it building more and more and more. Um, so what's up? Looks like anybody can jump up. I know that other guy was able to jump up. So you guys want to jump up? You're welcome to. You don't need to. You can. I'm gonna see if I can get Ryan up as well because I want to hear what he has to say. But last night with Bruce, so this guy's 80 years old, almost 80 years old. He's wearing VR headsets in the morning, and he does a brain training on his brain to keep his brain sharp. And he's really sharp. This guy's sharp as a tack. And then what he's doing is he's built these AI agents, and they're automating all of his tasks. Almost 80 years old, okay? Automating his tasks for him. And he's designed an entire 15 ground underground city inside of Austin, Texas, where not a city, but a mansion that he's going to be building. He's an investor, okay? He's not just a nobody, he's an investor. He's going to build this thing in Austin, Texas, and he's 100% committed full time to the great Bitcoin flipping. That's all he's doing. I mean, that's like he is 1,000,000%. When you listen to the thing last night, you will see why. He's from New Zealand, so his accent's it's totally tolerable. He comes on with Cam and he sings this freaking song. It's just badass, dude. The guy's a legend. He's just got nothing but respect for him. So, but yeah, I wanted to just get this out there and let you guys know some of the things on my mind. The bill is huge. It's a massive thing. What's going to happen next with these the tokenomics as well? You guys remember the ICOs that used to happen back in the day? But if you're hearing this now, you're going to know about this before anybody else. So there's going to be like a legal token offering, I think, where people could buy shares in a company like an AI company that is basically never ever no one's ever done this AI tech before. It'll be the first of its kind, and it's going to be ahead of every other AI company when it comes out, and everybody's going to want it once they know what it is. But it'll be like I'm just going to my plan is to like is to get these attorneys and this law firm involved to make it all legal and compliant and do like a real legitimate token offering with it because you could go to VCs and angel investors, but it just gets boring. I don't want to, but it's just something I think that I'm like about to go all in on. It's that big, so. Watch for it, man. I'm telling you, watch for it. But at the end of the day, it's just going to create more utility on Bitcoin SV. Massive amount. So what's up? I wish I could get comments or questions in this freaking thing. I don't know how to do that. There's a way to. If you guys want to raise your hand, you're welcome to do that. Come up. I have a million questions I could go through, but I'm not going to go through that right now. I could go, let's see. What up? All right. talk to me. I did my show on, I put it on Zoom. I recorded the Zoom on this one, so I'll be able to put it out on YouTube. I didn't go live, but I did put it out on Zoom. So it'll be cool. Anybody? Carla, Evan, what's up? New people, people are just learning about the great Bitcoin flipping. Dude, I'm telling you, there's no bigger opportunity than the great Bitcoin flipping. There isn't anything in crypto. If you're just a new person, you don't know anything that's going on, you're going to be blown away. Nobody knows about it. I'm talking like a couple hundred, that maybe 1,000 people are even aware of it. That's it. And when it flips, it's going to flip overnight because the hash power is going to go over the most profitable chain. It's a mathematical impossibility not to. That's the way Bitcoin works. There's a video actually that came out, I think it was last night or the day before, from China. There was a guy in China. He speaks fluent Chinese. I posted it on my X, it's translated on YouTube. And he's a doctor over there, and he breaks it down pretty detailed. I'd say pretty well in the technical reasons why and how. I'm not just the only person saying this. I'm not just some nobody that just, oh, I believe this. No, I'm just a guy with a voice. That's it. This is like all economics. And I think actually, if you look at that bill again, back to that 84837 bill, it shows you right in there that Congress is well aware of this, and they're leaving that reservation in the bill to basically allow for the chain with the most utility. That's on the bill, and that means Bitcoin with most utility, not some other blockchain. It's about the Bitcoin reserve. It's that Bitcoin reserve bill. So, yeah, dude, pretty massive. What's up? So check that thing out from last night. All right. And I want to do I'm gonna do a I'm gonna do like I do want to market. I want to run like a massive marketing campaign as well. Let me actually do a couple of points here that I want to talk about as well on some of the stuff I have with what I know with what's going to come out next year. If you guys aren't following it already, there's gonna be a film. It's gonna be called Killing Satoshi. That's gonna drop in the summer, and it's gonna be about the narrative with what happened to the Satoshi character. That's what it's going to be all about. And ultimately, it's about the Andrew O'Hagan blog that was written in 2016, and he goes through the details of his meetings with being called in to meet with Craig and follow him around, and then reporting on the entire situation. And then the lore of the movie is going to be where why if this one guy who's a nobody, a fraud, an idiot, all these names they want to call him. Why would all the tech giants in the world sue him? Just one guy, and want to take him down, and the most powerful companies in the world go after him. Why? Why would they waste their time with him? Well, it's because of the intellectual property. And that's what caused all that. When they saw all those patents, there's over 1,000 plus patents, and then 4,000 applied for. Once they saw all those patents over the blockchain space, it caused a big problem. Now there hasn't been any litigation on those patents yet, but there will be. Another big thing to watch for is that case in New York. There's the lost coins case, which is basically a Noah Doe. I should check and see what's going on with that. Right now, I do know it's going to be July 13th, I think, is the hearing. So there's going to be a hearing in a couple of weeks on an amicus curiae where an attorney's going to try to come into the case for the defendants and appear. And what's happening is they're suing over all the Satoshi coins. They want to move all those coins. That would affect everybody here. If you're holding Bitcoin, it's going to affect you. If you're holding BTC, BSV, doesn't matter. It would affect you. You would lose. You could either make money or lose money. I don't know how it's going to affect you, but it will. Because if 3 million Bitcoins move at once, you want to know about it. And that's what that case is about. And it's starting to pick up steam. So there's going to be an amicus curiae brief that's going to come in. And we don't even know who the parties are. It's just a Noah Doe character in New York. Could be Craig. The weird thing is it has all those Solomon Brothers notices inside of it. So it could very well likely be Craig. I mean, according to some of the stuff that I looked at before, but doesn't really make any sense why it would be him because he's not a New York citizen. It makes no sense. So I don't know. Oh, the other one in the movie, back to the movie, is Climate. He's going to be in the movie too. He's got his own role on IMDb on there. So it's going to be about, I mean, Climate and Calvin is a titan of blockchain, and the most hated man of all time in crypto is going to be killing Satoshi. Casey Affleck, talk to me. So if anybody wants to join in and talk, you can do it. Otherwise, I'm going to end it there. I'll do it again. See you at the top.